Well, welcome in, guys. This is Eric SideQuest Comics, and tonight is a new show. I'm still kind of riding that train of celebrating my second year on YouTube, and this is an idea tonight's show that I came up with a while ago, just kind of noodling it a little bit, kind of letting it simmer a bit, but I think I got it figured out, so it may change a little bit. So tonight, what we're doing is I'm starting a new show that I'm calling the 2 cent review. So I did not think I would ever do a review show on here on the comic channel. But I'll admit this show kind of is, uh, it's kind of forcing me to read what I buy. I'll admit it. So, in tonight's show, what I'm going to do is basically give you guys the broad view is I'm going to look at two books, just two books, maybe less in the future because I may have some guest or something like that. Originally, this is something I wanted to do with somebody, but I was kind of like, you know what, let's just jump into it and do it. But I'm going to look at two books, either being, something new that I just picked up yesterday. So I've had to read it last night or today, or just something new to me, a new quested book that I found digging in the bins. Now, I'm going to say right now, there may be spoilers. I'm going to try and keep it broad enough that maybe you'll want to go get it. Or if you do have it and haven't read it yet, I don't spoil too much for you. But my hope is to give you enough of my 2 cents about it that you may either go get it because you're like, oh, I got to read that sucker, or maybe save your bucks, right? So that's kind of the gist of this. And I'm going to keep it simple, no fuss. I'm not going to get deep into it. No, this is just going to give you my overall impression of the book that I'm going to feature. So, but yeah, so today I got two books. I'm going to give you a broad range, being the first show of what I'm going to talk about. And before we get into that, I'm going to check in on the chat here because I see a bunch of people chatting. Let me throw this up because I made a nice fancy little banner. If you're joining late, you can see what the heck we're talking about. But chat, we have right off the start, K Munin. Welcome in. Good evening. Thank you for joining me for this new thing that I made notes, but I still feel like I don't know what I want to do with the show. And I'm glad that you're looking forward to this new live stream. Like I said, hopefully maybe you guys will enjoy it. Let me know down below in the comments and whatnot if you're joining late type of thing. And then we also have my buddy Rich, big and nasty. He's second. He's ready for tonight. So thank you guys for joining me. Let's see. And then I think we got a couple more just joined. I started a little bit late. Sorry, guys. I was kind of doing some last minute things. I let time kind of get away from me. But Coach is here. Welcome in, Coach. Thanks for joining me. And Up and Adam is also here. Let's see. Did I get everybody? I think I got just about everybody. I'll try to keep an eye on the chat. I don't plan on doing it too much because I'm going to ramble through. The other idea about this show, guys, is I want to keep it quick and fast. So I'm shooting for 20 to 30 minutes on this show. So it's supposed to be kind of an easy, quick digest for you guys. So I don't want to waste too much time rambling here, which I have a tendency to do. But let's jump into more about what this show is. So like I said, I'm going to look at two books. Today I have a new release that I just got. And it's basically the new release is going to be like my most excited book, the one that I wanted to read first type of thing. That's what I'm going to look at. And then I also have something that was older that I found in the bin. So yeah, like I said, it's just an excuse for me to read the books right away, force me to read them. And then, like I said, I'm not really saying with this review, run out and buy it or avoid it like the plague. Is kind of just to give you guys some information about what you think. Maybe you can, with prices being what they are, it's hard to make those decisions. And I mean, I've been cutting back. So hopefully this will help you guys make that informed decision of, if you would enjoy it or not. Like I said, I'm not saying rush out and buy it. I'm no expert. This is just what I enjoy. So, but yeah, what I got for you is two books. So what I want to do is when I'm reviewing them, I'm doing quick 3 points. I'm going to look, at these easy things that generally what you would look at for books. So what I'm looking at, number one, is story. So do you know what's going on? Are the characters interesting? Uh, was the end kind of pointless? Sadly, we hate that when that happens. Or was there some kind of twist that makes you want to read the next issue? Did they reveal something like breadcrumbs that you're like, oh, I got to know a little bit more? Second thing I want to look at, which is my main thing that I always look at, is the art. Now, was the art kind of boring? Was it just kind of stagnant? Or did it like flow pretty good through, from panel to panel, page to page? Now, did it have an interesting style? There is phenomenal artists nowadays drawing books, but I think with me looking at some of the older ones too, that may change a little bit, whether your preference, if you didn't like that old style art. So that's what I think an important thing to look at the book, because sometimes good art can tell a story, even if the story is bad. And that brings us to the overall. Now, full package. Does the story and art, make up for one or the other? Like I said, sometimes art can make up for a bad story. Or if the story is just you're not following it, the art can kind of tell a story for you. Were they both good? Were they meh? Type of thing. So that's kind of the 3 points I'm going to look at. And then I have a rating system, and we'll go over that when we get to it, because I kind of want to jump into this, guys. I'm already looking at 7 minutes on the clock here. So eventually I'm probably going to start a clock to keep me on the straight and narrow. But okay, so let me see a real quick look. My wife's popping in saying hello to everybody. And then, yeah, everybody's saying hi back. So let's jump into the first book I want to cover. Was a new release from yesterday. So a new release coming out. Let's see, the date is 10/8. So that's the other thing I'm going to try and do these every week, guys. So we'll see. This is the first show, so we'll see how this one goes. So first one is going to be this book right here, Transformers number 25. It's kind of an anniversary cover or anniversary issue. They made it to 25, and it's a big book because it's a changing of the guard. So this issue number 25, Robert Kirkman, along with Dan Mora, is taking over for Daniel Warren Johnson, and the story on this. This is beginning a new story arc. They just finished up a big battle arc where they're fighting in Chicago. And we saw the return of Megatron, because they're kind of rebooting the whole universe in a way in this series with Image. Now, I did get the fancy kind of foily cover by David Nakayama. Pretty straightforward cover. Now, let's talk about, let's see, let's go with, I don't want to spoil too much in this, because there is some reveals in this, but they do give you breadcrumbs, just little tastes that make you want to read more, I think. Now, they're starting over, so they're kind of just setting up stuff. You kind of see results of the last arc, the big battle. They're cleaning up. Some characters left, some characters came in, that kind of thing. But I'm going to look at those 3 points I'm talking about. Story. So story-wise, like I said, they're setting up for the next big arc. They're kind of giving you what's to come a little bit, some taste. Now, I find that interesting because I was excited to see what they're going to do. This is a big book because they're changing the writer, they're changing the artist. So it's somebody else's viewpoint. So I was curious to see what they do with it. Still kind of early to say. I think it's going to take a couple issues to really get the gist of that. Art-wise, it has a new look. Now, like here. So you see the new look. Now, Daniel Warren Johnson, when he was writing it for the previous issues, it was more kinetic. It had more energy, very heavy ink lines. I almost call it chaotic, very, very action oriented. This one's very clean. I mean, if you look at some of the panels, the faces and stuff, they look like what I remember from, the classic comics or the old cartoon. So I kind of like that. It's a big difference, though. It really is. So I don't know how I feel about that, but I mean, it still has the action. I like the panels. It's more traditional. So yeah, I kind of like that. Now, I will say this about when I opened this up, I was like, oh, it's new team and stuff. And the first thing I see is I believe this is Daniel Warren Johnson. He did like a first couple pages of like where the Decepticons are. You know, they just got their, you know, butts kicked by the Autobots, barely. But you're like, okay, where are we standing? I mean, they're just your basic Decepticons. They're complaining and, oh, you failed me type of thing. So I was confused by that because after a couple pages of Megatron ranting and raving, they go to this. It's almost like a page type of let's change scenes type of thing. And then you see Optimus with the new art. So I was it threw me off a little bit. I don't know. It's just a little gripe, I guess. Consistently, it threw me off. So overall, my overall rating, I think I do want to continue reading this. I am an 80s kid. This was one of my main toys back in, you know, the day. I watched the cartoons, all that stuff, the comics. So I want to see what comes next. I want to see what Robert Kirkman does with the universe. Like I kind of they teased some big, oh my God. I think the first one I was like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. They are planning on bringing more 80s iconic stuff into Transformers. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to spoil too much in case you haven't read this. So, yes, I think I do want to continue this. Now, I want to talk about my ratings. Now, I said I'd get to that when I'm done with one. I have 3 ratings, keeping it simple from, you know, worst, middle, and then kind of, oh my God type of thing. Now, this one I'm going to call it's my middle rating, which I'm calling it's worth the fun buckaroos. So the fun bucks this is a good one. So it was very entertaining. I liked it. You know, and like I said, it is worth spending the money on this one to, you know, I feel like I got my money's worth out of this one. So the other ones I will get to when we get to them. So there was the first review, Transformers number 25, you guys. If you guys have read it, comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought of it. Maybe my thoughts on it align with yours. But let's go to our second one tonight. So our second one is an old one. Let me turn my notes because I made some notes on this one. Now, this one is What If number 4. This is their original volume. Volume 1 came out in 1977. And this one, give you a little stats. It's written by Roy Thomas. Cool cover by Gil Kane. And I'll say, this is why I got this. Now, jumping right into the review, the 3 things I look at: story, art, overall. Story, I have to judge this harshly, guys. I felt like the story was kind of broken up all over the place. I had a hard time following it. And it's just they basically they kept making references to, you know, other issues and other series that I haven't read. So I kind of kept getting lost in it. So and I was surprised because I love the Invaders. I thought I would like this. What if the Invaders had stayed together after World War II? Now, to me, that felt a little misleading because they were just kind of giving you like cliff notes of Namor did this, originally Human Torch did this, and then we got Cap, and then we got Whizzer, and you know they just were kind of name dropping a lot during it. So I had a hard time following it. Art wise, I got it because of the cover, like I said, Gil Kane, but inside I just felt like they were trying to do almost Kirby like. I wasn't a fan of the panels. They were a little boring, I thought, and basic. And yeah, so I had a hard time. I think that was part of the reason I had a hard time following this. Now the interiors, let's see, did I write down the interior artist? Was Frank Robbins. Now he's done a lot of work at Marvel, but this, I don't know. I didn't feel it, guys. And I love the Invaders. I have all the different series. Now, I did like this bad guy they had in here who was supposed to be like a second generation of the robot Torch here. So he was kind of the villain, but they gave you just such a quick summary of certain events in here, and then they would make it a little, point from blah 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 blah, and I'm just like, well, I'll probably never take the time to look that up to kind of get further into the story. And then also they like introduced, and I'm gonna say it right here, I'm gonna spoil it because it's from 77. There's like 3 different Captain Americas in this, and they're all from like the different eras of in the 40s. Overall, let's go to my overall thoughts because I'm kind of leading up to this. I found the story confusing and the art just didn't add anything. I had to force myself, guys, to actually finish reading this. A couple times I put it down and I felt like I just didn't care. I didn't want to read about it anymore because being a what if, there's no stakes in the story really because I'm like, oh, it's out of universe, it's out of the continuity made universe. So do I really care? And that's the thing, the story didn't grab me enough to care. So yeah, I mean, the fact that they had, see, did I write down all the different, let's see. So yeah, this is post 1945 Cap, and then we had the second one, which was actually Spirit of 76 character, and then after him we had the Patriot, who I think by the end is the Captain America. But it's like they didn't really explain a lot of this stuff. All of a sudden, it's just like, oh hey, he's Captain America, and yeah, I mean that last page is kind of cool, but I just, like I said, I just didn't care enough about the story. So it was just very weird. So overall, I think I'm going to call it confusing. Now, rating. So this one was kind of a weird one. I couldn't put it at one of the 3. I actually have it in the middle of my, worth the fun bucks. It was basically okay. But it's just above my very bottom, which is chump change. So chump change, I'm calling not even worth the bargain bin dollar. Now this is right in between this. If you're gonna get this, if you like What If, you may like this, but I wouldn't pay too much for this. It's at least worth the a bargain big buck to read through, see what you think type of thing. But I personally, I did not enjoy it, which I was surprised because I love the Invaders. So that is my ratings on this, guys. So we got this one that's, middle of the road. It's worth the fun bucks to continue to see where it goes. This one, it's a little bit less. I mean, yeah, I did spend money on this, but I don't think I spent a lot. And I'm urging you guys, if you guys are interested in at least checking it out, don't spend a lot on it. So, but guys, just like that, we're at about 19 minutes. I want to keep this quick. There was 2 reviews of new books, or new to me. These are my 2 cents for you guys. Hopefully they help you figure out if you want to get these and read them and enjoy them. Like I said, if you guys have these or read these, give me your 2 cents on them. Leave a comment down below. If you're watching this a little bit late, I appreciate it. Maybe we can start up a conversation about these books and see where maybe this one's going. That's the one I'm curious. And what do you guys think about this? Was it worth a buck, or was it chump change like I kind of was hinting towards? I don't know. I hate going all the way down there. It has to be really, really bad for me to call it a chump change. So those are the 2 cents for today, guys. Thank you for joining me. Let me hit up a little bit of comments here. Thank you guys for chiming in. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight in this new show. But if you could, let me turn off my little banner. Please make sure you hit that like button, you guys. I appreciate that. And if you haven't done so yet and you're checking me out for the first time, make sure you subscribe. I got a lot of content out there for you guys to enjoy. And like I said, comment down below, what did you think of these 2 cent reviews that I just did for What If Invaders? This is number 4, and the new Transformers that just came out yesterday. So hopefully I can keep this up, you guys. But yeah, like I said, please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what was your favorite one and all that good stuff. And also check me out on Instagram if you haven't yet, SideQuest Comics, and drop me a line at sidequestcomicsmail, Gmail. I appreciate that. And guys, that's all I got for you for this 2 cents reviews. Just like that, 21 minutes, we're done. So thank you for joining me. And guys, until next time, happy questing, and we'll talk to you next time.